Today I'm going to tell you a bit about Atelier Interactive Acrylics and why I love them so much. They haven't been on the market that long in the grand scheme of things, but I've been using them exclusively for about 3 or 4 years now, and I get on great with them. Now, acrylic paint's a great medium, but anyone who's used it before will know one of the biggest problems with it is the drying time. It's always the thing that holds people back because, of course, acrylics dry exceedingly quickly. Now, sometimes that can be a benefit, but in most cases it can sort of hinder your painting because you often find yourself sort of up against the clock trying to finish a painting before certain areas dry out. So you're working on your sky, trying to get everything finished before lunch or the phone rings or something, and then you find if it has dried out and you need to go back, what you have to do is remix colours or try and paint over the top of things. So that's always held acrylic artists back somewhat. Now, Atelier Interactive Acrylics are designed to combat that problem. So they do that in a number of ways. Now, firstly, you've got more time to work with them. So they dry slower from the off, which gives you more time to sort of spend on your paintings, more time to do blending, things like that. Secondly, the really great thing about these is that you can actually go back and get them to come to life again, even after the paint's dried. Now, I'll explain a bit about how that works. Unlike normal acrylics, which sort of dry to a solid plasticky feel, the interactive acrylics lose their moisture very gradually, which means over the course of a painting day, if you keep going back and rehydrating your paint by spraying it with water or applying some water on a brush, the paint will actually come to life again and you'll be able to carry on blending and carry on working with it. So as long as you keep applying moisture to these paints, you can go back and carry on painting. Now, what happens is that if you keep applying moisture, your paint will be workable. That happens for about a day or so. So as soon as you leave the paint without any moisture for a while, it will dry like a standard acrylic would. What you can then do, however, is go back to your painting and use something called an unlocking formula, which will actually allow you to go back a month down the line, a year down the line, and change a painting that's been completely dry for all that time. And you can use this neat or dilute it with water and spray it onto your picture in order to go back and carry on working. So it's the first time acrylic artists have really had that flexibility, and it just gives you so much more freedom. You're not up against the clock, you're not rushing to get things done, and you've always got the option of editing your paintings. Now, just to show you what I'm talking about here, I've got a canvas here, and earlier I painted a stripe of standard red acrylic paint onto here and a stripe of Atelier Interactive. Now, what I'm going to do is just show you how you can go back into the interactive and bring it to life again by spraying it with water or using unlocking formula. So these are both touch dry. First thing you'll notice is the interactive acrylic is a lot thicker and it's a really nice paint to use. It's got a lovely sort of buttery consistency, very rich, a lot more like oil paint in fact. So it's great stuff to use. Now, we've got our standard acrylic paint here. Now, as we know, acrylic paint dries very, very quickly. So if I spray this with water and just go in with a clean brush, I can't get any of that paint working really. There's a bit of moisture coming out around the edge, but generally speaking, once that's dry, it's dry. Now, with my interactive acrylics, I should be able to get much more of a reaction by spraying with water here. So I'm just going to go in and give that a good spray in with the same brush, and what you'll see is that the interactive acrylic suddenly comes to life again. So by spraying with water, you can lift all the paint back out from your interactive acrylic. And depending on how much water you use, you can sort of go in and make slight alterations, or if you wanted to go back to the sort of canvas weave, you could do that as well. So I'm spraying away here and I can really go into this paint and get all that colour to come to life again. And how you use that's up to you and your art. You know, you may want to edit an entire painting and change it completely, or you may just want to touch something up or do a bit of fine detail work by editing paint that's already dry. So just having this option with the interactive acrylic just makes your life a lot easier. So I've shown how you can go back with water and unlock this interactive acrylic. But what you can also do with this is go back months down the line and edit a painting that's completely bone dry. And the thing to do that with is this stuff here, which is the unlocking formula. So I'm just going to take some of this neat on a brush Now, you can of course dilute this with water. It is quite a potent substance, and essentially it reacts with the paint and allows you to unlock in the same way as water. So what I'm going to do is go back with some of this unlocking formula, and the power of that unlocking formula is actually allowing me to go right back to the weave of the canvas. So this layer of paint that is completely dry before, I can now go back to and remove completely if I want to, just by applying a touch of that unlocking formula on my brush. And then of course you could use paper towel or something to just rub away at the paint there. So it's powerful stuff. So it gives you the option, if you want to change a painting that you've worked on months ago, you can always do that with Atelier Interactives.